Sapiens, A Brief History of Humankind by Yuval Noah Harari. Summary and Analysis by Brief. Chapter 1. The Cognitive Revolution. Imagine a world about 70,000 years ago. Humans, known as Homo sapiens, are just one of many species wandering the Earth. We share the planet with other hominins, like Neanderthals and Denisovans. Life is simple but tough. Survival depends on hunting, foraging, and cooperating with others. But something extraordinary is about to happen, the cognitive revolution. In this pivotal moment, humans develop the ability to think and communicate in new ways. This isn't just about language, it's about imagination. With this newfound ability, we start to tell stories and share ideas. Picture a group of early humans sitting around a fire, sharing tales of giant beasts and mysterious spirits. These stories create bonds, build trust, and allow them to work together in larger groups. They can now cooperate with not just family and friends, but also strangers, all united by shared myths and beliefs. One striking example of this is the concept of money. Imagine a barter system where one person trades a deer for a basket of berries. It works fine until you realize that not everyone wants a deer. With the emergence of money, a common medium of exchange, humanity can trade goods and services more effectively. Money becomes a powerful tool, allowing societies to grow and flourish. This cognitive leap also enables the creation of complex social structures. Instead of small, tight-knit tribes, humans form large communities and eventually civilizations. This change is not just about numbers. It's about the ability to organize and strategize on a scale never seen before. As the saying goes, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. One of the most fascinating aspects of the cognitive revolution is how it set the stage for everything that followed. The ability to believe in shared myths, be it religion, nations, or corporations, unites people in ways that biology alone could not. It's like having an invisible thread that ties people together, allowing them to coordinate actions and share resources. The key lesson: the cognitive revolution transformed Homo sapiens from just another animal into a species capable of extraordinary things through shared imagination and cooperation. Chapter 2. The Agricultural Revolution. Fast forward to around 10,000 years ago, and the world is about to see another dramatic transformation, the agricultural revolution. Humans have spent millennia as hunter-gatherers, living off the land by foraging and hunting animals. But with the end of the last ice age, something changes in the environment. The climate warms, and plants flourish. This is when some clever humans decide to try something new, growing their own food. Imagine a group of early humans observing the wild grains around them. Instead of just gathering what nature provides, they start to plant seeds, nurturing them and waiting for the harvest. This simple act is revolutionary. By domesticating plants and animals, humans can settle in one place, leading to the creation of villages and towns. No longer do they need to roam in search of food, they can cultivate it right where they live. However, this change comes with its own set of challenges. As people begin to settle, they face issues like land ownership and food surpluses. Suddenly, some individuals have more than others, leading to inequalities and social hierarchies. One interesting story involves the ancient Sumerians, who developed one of the first known forms of writing, cuneiform, partly to keep track of grain supplies and debts. It's a quirky twist of fate that writing, which would later become a tool for storytelling and communication, was born out of the need to manage resources. The agricultural revolution also alters human health. Early farmers often worked harder than their hunter-gatherer ancestors. They labor in the fields, planting and harvesting crops, which sounds great until you consider the backbreaking work involved. Studies suggest that early agricultural societies faced more health issues, including malnutrition and disease. It's a classic example of how progress can come with its own set of problems. As societies grow, they develop new technologies, from plows to irrigation systems, which further enhance agricultural productivity. This leads to population growth and the establishment of cities. But with more people living together, there are new challenges too: conflicts over resources, the need for laws, and the rise of governments. The key lesson: the agricultural revolution marked a significant turning point in human history, changing how we live, work, and interact, while also introducing new challenges that would shape future societies. Chapter 3. The Unification of Humankind. Now, let's move to a new chapter in our story, the unification of humankind. As agriculture spreads across the globe, different cultures begin to interact and share ideas. Picture vibrant marketplaces bustling with traders from various regions, each bringing their unique goods, stories, and customs. This mixing of cultures creates a rich tapestry of human experience. One of the first unifying forces is religion. Imagine a community gathering around a fire, sharing stories about gods and spirits. These shared beliefs create a sense of belonging and purpose. Religion not only explains the mysteries of life, but also provides moral codes to guide behavior. For example, the ancient Egyptians believed in a pantheon of gods, and their religious practices influenced every aspect of their lives, from farming to politics. As societies grow, so does the need for a common language. Trade and communication become easier when everyone understands each other. This is where writing comes in. The invention of writing systems like cuneiform in Mesopotamia and hieroglyphics in Egypt revolutionizes how people share information. Imagine being able to record everything from business transactions to epic tales. Writing allows cultures to preserve their history and knowledge for future generations. Here's a fun anecdote. Think about how easily we share memes and social media posts today. In ancient times, sharing stories was done through oral tradition, and just like a game of telephone, tales would change and evolve as they were passed along. This meant that by the time a story reached the 10th person, it could be quite different from the original. Another major unifying force is the rise of empires. As powerful leaders conquer new lands, they bring different peoples under one rule. The Roman Empire, for instance, stretched across Europe, North Africa, and parts of the Middle East. The Romans built roads, established trade routes, and spread their culture, which helped unify diverse groups. Imagine traveling on a well-paved road with traders coming from all directions, exchanging goods and ideas. That was the power of the empire. To implement these ideas in your own life, think about how you can connect with people from different backgrounds. You might start a cultural club at school where everyone shares their traditions or stories. This not only fosters understanding, but also enriches your own perspective. The key lesson, the unification of humankind, was driven by shared beliefs, the invention of writing, and the rise of empires, all of which helped create a more interconnected world. Chapter 4. The Unification of Humankind. As we dive deeper into the unification of humankind, let's explore how trade, empires, and shared beliefs shaped the world. Imagine bustling cities filled with people from all walks of life, exchanging goods and ideas. This vibrant tapestry of cultures creates a dynamic and interconnected world. One of the most exciting elements of this unification is the rise of trade networks. Think of trade as the original social media. Just like how you share memes and ideas online today, ancient traders shared spices, textiles, and stories. The Silk Road is a perfect example of this, stretching thousands of miles and connecting the East and West. Merchants traveled on camels and horses, carrying silk from China, spices from India, and glassware from the Roman Empire. Each item carried with it a piece of culture, connecting people who might never meet otherwise. Here's an interesting fact. Many of the goods traded along the Silk Road were not just for practical use, they were also symbols of status and luxury. For instance, silk was highly coveted in Europe, and wearing it was a sign of wealth. This desire for luxury goods drove exploration and trade, leading to more interaction between different cultures. Now let's talk about empires. Empires like the Roman Empire and the Persian Empire played a significant role in unifying vast regions. Picture this. The Roman Empire at its height controlled much of Europe, North Africa, and parts of the Middle East. They built roads, established a common currency, and created laws that applied to everyone within their territory. This made trade easier and allowed for greater cultural exchange. For example, the Romans were masters of engineering. They constructed aqueducts to bring water to their cities, which improved public health and hygiene. Imagine living in a city where clean water flowed right to your home. This innovation not only made life better for citizens, but also showed how advanced societies could be when they worked together under a strong leadership. To implement this idea of unification in your life, think about how you can create connections in your community. You might organize a local market day where people can trade homemade goods, crafts, or baked treats. Not only does this encourage local commerce, but it also fosters a sense of community and belonging. The key lesson, trade and the rise of empires played crucial roles in unifying diverse cultures, creating connections that shaped the course of human history. Chapter 5. The Scientific Revolution. As we venture into the scientific revolution, we enter a time of incredible discovery and innovation. Imagine a world where the mysteries of nature are being unraveled, and people are questioning everything they thought they knew. This period marks a shift from reliance on myths and traditions to a focus on observation and experimentation. The scientific revolution began in the 16th century and set the stage for modern science. Think about the famous figures of this era, like Galileo Galilei, who used a telescope to study the stars. This was revolutionary. Galileo challenged the prevailing belief that the Earth was the center of the universe. Instead, he proposed that the Earth and other planets revolved around the Sun. This idea was so controversial that it got him into trouble with the authorities. Imagine standing up for your beliefs in the face of opposition. That's what Galileo did. Another key figure was Isaac Newton, who formulated the laws of motion and gravity. His work laid the foundation for physics as we know it. Picture Newton sitting under an apple tree when an apple falls and sparks an idea about gravity. This simple event led to profound insights about how the universe works. Newton's discoveries encouraged people to think critically and seek evidence for their beliefs. The scientific revolution also introduced the scientific method, a systematic way of thinking. This method involves making observations, forming hypotheses, conducting experiments, and drawing conclusions. It's like being a detective solving a mystery. For example, if you want to know how plants grow, you might set up an experiment with different types of soil and light conditions. By observing the results, you can draw conclusions about what helps plants thrive. To inspire curiosity in your life, think about starting a science club at school. You could conduct fun experiments, share findings, and discuss scientific ideas. This not only helps you learn, but also encourages others to explore the wonders of science. The effects of the scientific revolution extend beyond just science. It influences philosophy, politics, and even everyday life. The emphasis on reason and evidence gave rise to the Enlightenment, a movement that championed individual rights and freedoms. People began to question authority and demand more from their leaders. Imagine a world where people started to believe they had the power to shape their own destinies. The key lesson, the scientific revolution transformed how humans understand the world, emphasizing observation, experimentation, and reason as the foundations of knowledge. Chapter 6. The Capitalist Creed. Welcome to the world of capitalism, where money makes the world go round. Picture a bustling market filled with merchants selling everything from spices to silk. The rise of capitalism is one of the most significant changes in human history, and it all begins with the idea of trade and investment. In this new economic system, the goal is to make a profit. Imagine you have a lemonade stand. You buy lemons, sugar, and cups, and then you sell your lemonade for more than it costs to make. The difference, the profit, is what drives you to continue selling. This simple idea of buying low and selling high is at the heart of capitalism. As trade routes expand and markets grow, financial systems start to develop. Banks emerge to store money and offer loans. Think of a bank as a giant piggy bank where people can deposit their savings. But banks also lend money to those who want to start businesses or buy goods. For instance, if a merchant wanted to expand their spice trade, they could borrow money from the bank to buy more spices. This creates a cycle of investment and profit that drives growth. One fascinating aspect of capitalism is the concept of credit. Imagine you want to buy a new video game, but you don't have enough money. Instead of waiting to save up, you could use credit to buy it now. You promise to pay the money back later, often with a little extra as interest. This system allows people to access resources they might not have immediately, encouraging spending and investment. However, it also comes with risks, like debt if you can't pay it back. As capitalism grows, so does the importance of consumerism. People begin to desire more goods, leading to a culture of buying and selling. Think about how advertisements influence what you want. Companies use marketing techniques to convince you that their products are essential. This desire for more stuff can lead to a cycle where people are constantly buying the latest gadgets, clothes, or toys. To implement a sense of entrepreneurship in your life, consider starting a small business or a creative project. Whether it's selling handmade bracelets or offering tutoring services, you can learn valuable lessons about budgeting, marketing, and customer service. It's a fun way to explore capitalism in action. The key lesson: capitalism encourages trade, investment, and consumerism, shaping how societies function and interact with one another. Chapter 7: The Age of Exploration. Now let's embark on an exciting journey into the Age of Exploration. This period, which kicked off in the late century, is marked by daring adventurers, new discoveries, and the quest for wealth and glory. Imagine a time when the world was still largely unknown, and brave explorers set sail across uncharted oceans, eager to uncover new lands and riches. One of the most famous explorers is Christopher Columbus, who set sail in 1492 with 3 ships, the Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria. Columbus believed he could reach Asia by sailing west across the Atlantic Ocean. Instead, he stumbled upon the Americas. Just imagine the thrill of stepping onto a new continent filled with unknown possibilities. Columbus's voyages opened the door to exploration and colonization, leading to a wave of European interest in the New World. But it wasn't just Columbus who made waves. Explorers like Vasco da Gama and Ferdinand Magellan expanded trade routes and connected continents. Magellan, for instance, was the first to circumnavigate the globe, proving that the world was round and much larger than previously thought. His journey took 3 years and faced many challenges, including storms, starvation, and mutiny. Picture being on a small ship for years, facing the vast, unpredictable ocean. As European powers raced to explore, they also sought to claim new territories and resources. This led to the establishment of colonies in places like the Americas, Africa, and Asia. However, these explorations often came at a high cost. Indigenous populations faced violence, displacement, and diseases brought by the explorers. It's important to remember that while exploration brought wealth to Europe, it had devastating consequences for many native peoples. To understand how exploration impacts us today, think about how it has shaped our world. The blending of cultures, ideas, and goods altered societies globally. You can explore this concept in your own life by learning about different cultures. Try cooking a dish from a different country, or reading a book by an author from another part of the world. This not only broadens your perspective but also celebrates the diversity of human experience. The key lesson: the age of exploration expanded the known world and connected different cultures. But it also highlighted the consequences of colonization and the importance of understanding history from multiple perspectives. Chapter 8: The Capitalist Revolution. Welcome to the Capitalist Revolution. This chapter highlights a remarkable transformation in how humans interact with money, trade, and each other. Picture a bustling marketplace where merchants haggle over prices, and buyers eagerly search for the best deals. This vibrant scene is the heart of capitalism, an economic system that encourages trade, investment, and profit. Capitalism begins to take shape in Europe around the 16th century, fueled by exploration and the expansion of trade. Imagine sailors returning from distant lands, bringing spices, textiles, and precious metals. These new goods ignite a desire for more, leading to the establishment of trade routes and trading companies. One famous example is the Dutch East India Company, which became one of the world's first multinational corporations. It's like a giant company, but instead of just selling lemonade, they sold spices and silk across continents, making a fortune in the process. As trade flourishes, so does the need for money. Picture a time when people traded goods directly, like a farmer swapping eggs for bread. It worked well until someone wanted to buy bread but had no eggs to offer. Enter money. Money becomes the universal medium of exchange, making trade more efficient. Imagine carrying a shiny coin instead of a dozen eggs. This innovation allows people to buy what they want when they want it. With the rise of money comes the establishment of banks. Think of banks as treasure chests where people store their coins and jewels. But banks do more than just keep your money safe. They lend it out to entrepreneurs who want to start or grow their businesses. For example, a baker might borrow money to buy a new oven. This cycle of borrowing and lending stimulates the economy, creating jobs and new products. However, capitalism isn't just about making money. It also changes how people think about work and success. In earlier societies, most people worked to survive. But with capitalism, individuals begin to see wealth as a goal. It's like a video game, where you level up by accumulating points, except in real life, those points are dollars. This focus on profit encourages innovation. Inventors and entrepreneurs push boundaries to create better products and services. Think about the excitement of a new gadget release. That's the result of creative minds seeking to meet consumer demands. But here's where things get tricky. Capitalism can lead to significant inequalities. While some people become extremely wealthy, others struggle to make ends meet. Imagine a town where a few families live in mansions, while others live in tiny apartments. This disparity can create social tensions and calls for reform. For instance, during the Industrial Revolution, many factory workers faced terrible conditions for little pay. They banded together to fight for better rights, leading to the establishment of labor laws and unions. To embrace the spirit of capitalism in your own life, think about starting a small business or a creative project. Whether it's making and selling crafts or offering tutoring services, you can learn valuable lessons about budgeting, marketing, and customer service. These experiences teach you about the importance of hard work, creativity, and perseverance. Now, let's talk about consumerism, which is an essential part of capitalism. With more goods available than ever before, people start to buy more. Advertisements flood the airwaves, enticing you to purchase the latest gadgets or trendy clothes. It's like being in a candy store where every item looks appealing. While consumerism can drive economic growth, it's also essential to be mindful of your purchases. Ask yourself, do I really need this, or am I just buying it because everyone else has one? In summary, the capitalist revolution reshapes economies and societies, emphasizing profit, investment, and the importance of entrepreneurship while also highlighting the challenges of inequality. Chapter 9. The Industrial Revolution. Now, let's step into the Industrial Revolution, a time of groundbreaking changes that transformed how people lived and worked. Imagine a world where steam engines roar to life, factories rise up, and people flock to cities in search of jobs. This chapter highlights the monumental shift from farming societies to industrial powerhouses that defined the 18th and 19th centuries. The Industrial Revolution begins in Great Britain, driven by technological innovation. Picture the first steam engine, created by James Watt, chugging along and powering machines. This invention revolutionizes transportation and manufacturing. Suddenly, instead of relying on human or animal power, factories can produce goods at an astonishing rate. For instance, textiles, like cotton, could be spun and woven much faster than ever before. Imagine a factory filled with machines whirring and clanking, producing fabric by the mile. As factories spring up, they draw people from rural areas to urban centers. This migration leads to rapid urbanization. Think about the excitement of moving to a bustling city where there are countless job opportunities. However, this shift also comes with challenges. Cities become overcrowded and polluted, with many people living in cramped quarters. The streets echo with the sounds of industry, but they also fill with smoke and grime. Imagine walking through a city where the air is thick with smog. It's not exactly the fresh countryside you might have known. Life in factories can be harsh. Workers often endure long hours in unsafe conditions for meager wages. Picture young children working alongside adults, toiling away in dangerous environments. During this time, child labor is rampant, with kids as young as 5 or 6 working in factories instead of going to school. This reality sparks movements advocating for labor rights and better working conditions. People begin to organize and fight for their rights, leading to significant social changes. In addition to the struggles, the Industrial Revolution brings about incredible advancements. As factories produce more goods, transportation improves. Railroads and steamships allow for faster movement of goods and people. Imagine hopping on a train that can take you hundreds of miles in a matter of hours. This connectivity opens up new markets and opportunities. One of the most significant inventions of this period is the telegraph, allowing for instant communication over long distances. Think about how essential your smartphone is today. The telegraph was revolutionary in its time, enabling businesses to communicate quickly and efficiently. Imagine sending a message across the country in minutes instead of weeks. To understand the impact of the Industrial Revolution today, consider how technology shapes our lives. You can explore this concept by participating in science and engineering projects at school. Building simple machines or experimenting with coding can give you a taste of innovation while encouraging problem-solving skills. The Industrial Revolution also gives rise to new social classes. A wealthy merchant class emerges alongside a struggling working class. This development leads to discussions about rights, representation, and the role of government in regulating industry. Think about how people today advocate for social justice. These discussions have deep historical roots. In summary, the Industrial Revolution changed how people lived and worked, driving technological advancements, urbanization, and social challenges that continue to influence our world today. Chapter 10: The Rise of Socialism. Let's dive into the dramatic rise of socialism, a movement that emerged as a response to the harsh realities of capitalism during the 19th century. Imagine cities filled with smoke from factories, workers toiling away for long hours in dangerous conditions, and children missing out on school because they had to help support their families. This was the backdrop that made people start questioning whether the capitalist system was fair. Socialism began to take root when thinkers and activists started to see the inequalities created by capitalism. Picture a group of people gathering in a small room, discussing how the wealth generated by factories and businesses should be shared more equally among everyone, not just a few wealthy owners. Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels were among the most influential figures in this movement. They argued that the capitalist system exploited workers whom they called the proletariat, while the owners of businesses, known as the bourgeoisie, reaped all the benefits. One of the most famous works they produced is the Communist Manifesto, published in 1848. This document called for the working class to rise up against their oppressors. Imagine reading a rallying cry that urges workers to unite and fight for their rights. It stated, "Workers of the world, unite. You have nothing to lose but your chains." This powerful message inspired many to advocate for workers' rights, better wages, and improved working conditions. As socialism gained popularity, workers began to organize. Picture labor unions forming like teams of superheroes, banding together to protect their rights. These unions fought for fair wages, shorter workdays, and safer working conditions. They organized strikes, where workers would refuse to work until their demands were met. One notable strike was the Haymarket Affair in Chicago in 1886, where workers demanded an 8-hour workday. The protest ended tragically, but it highlighted the struggles workers faced and brought attention to their cause. In addition to labor unions, socialist political parties began to emerge. These parties aimed to change the system from within, by participating in elections and advocating for reforms. Imagine people campaigning, holding rallies, and spreading their message. Some countries even saw socialist governments take power, leading to sweeping changes in how society was organized. In countries like Russia, the Bolshevik Party, led by Vladimir Lenin, successfully overthrew the existing government in 1917, promising to create a society where wealth and resources would be shared equally among all citizens. But socialism wasn't just about sharing wealth, it also brought new ideas about how society should be structured. Socialists believed that the government should play a more active role in the economy, regulating industries to ensure fair treatment for workers and consumers. This idea laid the groundwork for social welfare programs, which aimed to provide support for those in need, such as healthcare, education, and housing. To understand how these ideas can be applied today, think about how you can advocate for fairness and equality in your community. You might start a club at school focused on social justice issues, organizing events to raise awareness about topics like workers' rights or environmental justice. You can also participate in community service projects that support those in need, helping to create a more equitable society. The key lesson: the rise of socialism highlighted the inequalities created by capitalism and inspired movements advocating for workers' rights, social justice, and government involvement in the economy. Chapter 11: The Age of Imperialism. Now, let's journey into the Age of Imperialism, a time when powerful nations expanded their empires across the globe, often at the expense of weaker nations. Imagine a world map slowly being covered with the flags of various European countries, each claiming territory in Africa, Asia, and the Americas. This period, from the late 19th century to the early 20th century, was marked by intense competition between nations to acquire land and resources. The driving forces behind imperialism included economic interests, national pride, and a belief in the cultural superiority of the colonizers. Picture a European country discovering that it can access valuable resources like gold, rubber, and spices in distant lands. This fuels their desire to expand and control these territories. For instance, Britain sought to expand its empire in Africa, where it could find materials for its factories and markets for its goods. One of the most notorious events during this period was the Scramble for Africa, where European powers raced to colonize the continent. Imagine countries like Britain, France, and Germany sitting around a table, dividing Africa among themselves without considering the people who already lived there. This led to the establishment of colonies, where local populations were often exploited for labor and resources. The Berlin Conference of 1884 to 1885 is a prime example, where European leaders met to negotiate how to divide Africa without any African representatives present. This disregard for local cultures and rights had lasting consequences for the continent. Imperialism often justified itself through a belief in the civilizing mission. Colonizers thought they were bringing progress and enlightenment to the backward societies they encountered. Imagine a missionary setting out to save a community by converting them to a different religion or imposing Western education. While some individuals genuinely sought to help, many actions taken during this period caused immense suffering and disruption to local cultures. Resistance against imperialism also emerged. Picture local leaders and communities banding together to fight for their rights and independence. For example, in India, figures like Mohandas Gandhi emerged, advocating for non-violent resistance against British rule. His belief in civil disobedience inspired millions to stand up against oppression, showing that people could unite to challenge imperial power. The consequences of imperialism are still felt today. Many former colonies struggled to establish stable governments after gaining independence, facing challenges rooted in the colonial era. Issues such as ethnic tension, economic exploitation, and political instability have persisted in regions that experienced imperial rule. To engage with these historical lessons, consider how you can promote cultural understanding and respect in your own life. You might start by learning about different cultures, traditions, and histories. You can also participate in cultural exchange programs or events that celebrate diversity in your community, fostering connections and understanding among people from different backgrounds. The key lesson: the age of imperialism was characterized by the expansion of powerful nations at the expense of weaker ones, leading to exploitation, cultural disruption, and a legacy that continues to impact the world today. Chapter 12: The Great Wars. Welcome to the tumultuous era of the Great Wars, the First and Second World Wars to be precise. Imagine a world caught in the grip of conflict, where nations rise and fall and the very fabric of society is tested. The Great Wars changed the course of history, impacting millions of lives and shaping the world as we know it today. The First World War, which began in 1914, was sparked by a complex web of alliances, militarism, imperialism, and nationalism. Picture this. The assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand of Austria in June 1914 sets off a chain reaction of events. Countries that were once friends suddenly become enemies, and before long, much of Europe is plunged into war. It's like a game of dominoes, where one small action leads to a massive collapse. The war introduced new technologies that changed how battles were fought. Soldiers fought in trenches, creating a grueling and stagnant front line. Imagine living in muddy, rat-infested trenches for weeks on end, with constant fear of enemy attacks. It was a brutal reality. New weapons, such as machine guns, tanks, and poison gas, made warfare more deadly than ever. The horrors of the battlefield were depicted in haunting photographs and stories that revealed the traumatic experiences of soldiers. As the war raged on, countries mobilized their entire populations for the war effort. Women stepped into roles traditionally held by men, working in factories, serving as nurses, and even taking up arms in some cases. This shift marked a significant change in gender roles and expectations. Imagine women trading their aprons for overalls, proving that they could do the same work as men. The war not only transformed society, but also laid the groundwork for future movements advocating for women's rights. After 4 long years, the war came to an end in 1918 with the signing of the Treaty of Versailles. However, this treaty imposed harsh penalties on Germany, leading to widespread resentment. Picture a nation that feels humiliated and economically devastated. This discontent would later fuel the rise of Adolf Hitler and the Nazi Party, setting the stage for World War II. World War II erupted and it was even more devastating than the first. Imagine the world plunged back into chaos, this time with even more countries involved and new technologies like airplanes and tanks taking center stage. The war saw the rise of totalitarian regimes, where leaders like Hitler and Mussolini sought to expand their empires through aggression. The horrors of the Holocaust, where millions of innocent people were systematically murdered, highlighted the darkest aspects of humanity. One of the most significant events of World War II was the attack on Pearl Harbor in 1941, which brought the United States into the conflict. Picture the shock and determination of a nation rallying together to fight against tyranny. The war eventually ended in 1945 with the dropping of atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, devastating cities and leading to Japan's surrender. The aftermath of the war led to the establishment of the United Nations, aimed at preventing future global conflicts. To understand the lessons of the Great Wars, think about how you can promote peace and understanding in your own community. You might consider organizing a school project that focuses on tolerance and conflict resolution. For instance, you could create a peace club that hosts discussions about current events, fostering an environment of open dialogue and understanding among your peers. The key lesson: the Great Wars reshaped the world, revealing the horrors of conflict while also highlighting the resilience of humanity and the importance of striving for peace. Chapter 13: The Cold War. Now let's explore the fascinating and tense era of the Cold War, a period that followed the Great Wars and was marked by ideological conflict between two superpowers, the United States and the Soviet Union. Imagine a world divided, where the threat of nuclear war looms large, and espionage and propaganda become the order of the day. The Cold War began after World War II, as the two superpowers emerged from the conflict with vastly different ideologies. The United States championed capitalism and democracy, while the Soviet Union promoted communism and totalitarianism. Picture two giants standing toe-to-toe, each trying to outdo the other in a battle for influence across the globe. This rivalry would shape international relations for decades. One of the most iconic events of the Cold War was the Berlin Wall's construction in 1961. Imagine a city physically divided, with families and friends separated overnight. The wall became a symbol of the ideological divide between East and West. East Berlin was under communist control, while West Berlin enjoyed the freedoms of a capitalist society. People risked their lives to escape to the West, leading to dramatic stories of bravery and desperation. The arms race was another critical aspect of the Cold War. Both superpowers invested heavily in nuclear weapons, creating stockpiles that could destroy the world multiple times over. Imagine scientists working tirelessly in secret laboratories, developing more powerful bombs. The fear of nuclear war created a sense of paranoia, leading to drills in schools where students practiced duck and cover to prepare for a potential attack. This tension culminated in the Cuban Missile Crisis of 1962, where the world teetered on the brink of nuclear war. Picture the leaders of the US and the Soviet Union engaged in a high-stakes standoff, with the fate of humanity hanging in the balance. Cultural conflicts also emerged during the Cold War, with both sides using propaganda to promote their ideologies. Hollywood produced films that celebrated American values, while the Soviet Union created its own art and literature that glorified communism. Imagine a world where movies and music became tools for political messages. Sports also played a significant role in the Cold War. The Olympics became a stage for showcasing national pride and superiority. The infamous Miracle on Ice moment in the 1980 Winter Olympics, where the underdog U.S. hockey team defeated the heavily favored Soviet team, became a symbol of American resilience. Picture a packed arena, where cheers erupted as the underdogs took down their rivals, fueling a sense of national pride. The Cold War eventually came to an end in the late 1980s and early 1990s, marked by the fall of the Berlin Wall in 1989, and the dissolution of the Soviet Union in 1991. Imagine people celebrating in the streets, tearing down the wall that had divided them for decades. This moment signified hope and the possibility of a more united world. To understand the lessons of the Cold War, think about how you can advocate for peace and cooperation in your own life. You can get involved in community service projects that promote understanding and collaboration among diverse groups. Organizing cultural exchange programs or participating in peace marches can help foster a spirit of unity and empathy. The key lesson: the Cold War demonstrated the dangers of ideological conflict and the importance of diplomacy, cooperation, and understanding in a world that can easily be divided. Chapter 14: The Age of Technology. Welcome to the Age of Technology. This chapter dives into the incredible advancements that have transformed our lives over the past few decades. Imagine a world where computers, smartphones, and the internet have revolutionized how we communicate, learn, and interact with one another. This era has brought both challenges and opportunities, shaping our society in profound ways. The technological revolution kicked off in the late 20th century with the invention of personal computers. Picture a time when bulky machines filled classrooms and homes, allowing people to type documents, play games, and even connect with others through the early days of the internet. The internet itself was a game changer, evolving from a military communication tool to a global network that connects billions of people. Suddenly, information was at our fingertips. Imagine being able to find answers to your questions or connect with friends across the world in a matter of seconds. One of the most notable developments in technology is the rise of smartphones. These pocket-sized devices are like miniature computers, allowing us to access the internet, send messages, and even take stunning photographs. Think about how you can instantly share a moment from your day with friends or family, no matter where they are. Social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter have transformed how we share our lives, but they also come with challenges, such as cyberbullying and the pressure to present a perfect image. The age of technology has also changed how we learn. With online education becoming increasingly popular, imagine being able to attend classes from home in your pajamas. Platforms like Khan Academy and Coursera offer courses on a wide variety of topics, making education more accessible than ever. However, this shift also raises questions about the quality of education and the importance of face-to-face interactions in learning. As technology advances, so do concerns about privacy and security. With so much of our lives online, the risk of hacking and data breaches increases. Imagine logging into your favorite game only to discover that your account has been compromised. It's crucial to learn about online safety, such as using strong passwords and being cautious about sharing personal information. To harness the benefits of technology in your own life, consider developing digital literacy skills. Here are some steps you can take. Explore new tools, experiment with different apps and software that can enhance your productivity or creativity. For example, you can use tools like Google Docs for collaboration on projects with classmates or Canva for designing posters. Stay informed. Keep up with the latest technology trends by following tech blogs or YouTube channels. This knowledge will help you make informed decisions about the tools you use. Practice online safety. Regularly update your passwords and be mindful of the information you share online. Learn about privacy settings on social media platforms to protect your personal data. Learn coding. Consider taking an online coding course. Websites like Codecademy and Scratch offer beginner-friendly lessons that can spark your interest in programming. The age of technology is filled with excitement and innovation, but it also requires us to be responsible digital citizens. The key lesson: the age of technology has transformed our lives in remarkable ways, providing opportunities for learning and connection while also presenting challenges related to privacy and security. Chapter 15: The Globalization of Culture. Next, we dive into the fascinating world of cultural globalization. Imagine a time when you can enjoy sushi, watch Bollywood movies, and listen to K-pop, all from your hometown. Cultural globalization refers to the exchange and blending of cultures across the globe, driven by advancements in technology, communication, and travel. As technology connects people from different countries, cultural exchange becomes more accessible than ever. Picture a vibrant online community where individuals share their traditions, music, and art, regardless of where they live. Platforms like YouTube and TikTok allow creators to showcase their talents and connect with audiences worldwide. This phenomenon has led to the rise of global trends, such as viral dance challenges and memes that spread like wildfire across social media. One significant aspect of cultural globalization is the impact of media. Hollywood movies and Western music dominate many parts of the world, influencing fashion, language, and lifestyles. Imagine a teenager in a small town in Indonesia wearing a t-shirt featuring their favorite American superhero. While this exchange fosters appreciation for different cultures, it can also lead to concerns about cultural homogenization, where local traditions and languages may be overshadowed by dominant cultures. Food is another exciting example of cultural globalization. Think about how you can enjoy a variety of cuisines in your community, from Indian curry to Mexican tacos. Many people now appreciate the flavors of cuisines from around the world, thanks to travel and the internet. This culinary exchange enriches our lives and broadens our palates, but it's essential to also respect and preserve the traditions behind these dishes. However, cultural globalization isn't without its challenges. As cultures blend, some people worry about losing their unique identities. Imagine a small village where traditional practices are replaced by modern influences, leading to a loss of heritage. It's crucial to find a balance between embracing new ideas and preserving cultural roots. To engage with cultural globalization in your own life, here are some steps you can take. Explore diverse media, watch movies, listen to music, and read books from different cultures. This exposure can broaden your understanding and appreciation of the world. Participate in cultural events, attend local festivals, fairs, or cultural events that celebrate diversity. These experiences can connect you with different traditions and communities. Learn a new language. Consider learning a language that interests you. Language is a vital part of culture, and speaking another language can deepen your understanding of different perspectives. Cook international dishes. Try your hand at cooking dishes from various cultures. You can even invite friends to join you for a global potluck, where everyone brings a dish from a different country. Cultural globalization offers a rich tapestry of experiences and perspectives, reminding us that we are all part of a larger, interconnected world. The key lesson: cultural globalization enhances our lives by fostering connections and exchanges between different cultures, but it's essential to respect and preserve local traditions and identities. Chapter 16: Environmental Awareness. Now, let's turn our attention to a pressing issue of our time: environmental awareness. Imagine a world where lush green forests, clean oceans, and fresh air are taken for granted. Unfortunately, due to pollution, climate change, and habitat destruction, our planet is facing significant challenges. This chapter emphasizes the importance of understanding environmental issues and taking action to protect our Earth. Environmental awareness gained momentum in the 20th century, especially with events like the first Earth Day in 1970. Picture millions of people gathering to raise awareness about pollution and environmental degradation. This movement sparked conversations about sustainability and the impact of human activities on the planet. One of the most critical issues we face today is climate change. The burning of fossil fuels, deforestation, and industrial activities release greenhouse gases into the atmosphere, leading to rising temperatures and extreme weather events. Imagine experiencing more heat waves, floods, and hurricanes than ever before. Climate change not only affects the environment, but also poses risks to food security, health, and biodiversity. Another significant concern is plastic pollution. Think about how many plastic items you use daily: water bottles, straws, and bags. Unfortunately, much of this plastic ends up in landfills or the ocean, harming wildlife and ecosystems. Sea turtles, for example, can mistake plastic bags for jellyfish, leading to deadly consequences. The sight of plastic waste on beautiful beaches is a stark reminder of the need for change. To promote environmental awareness and take action in your own life, consider the following strategies. Reduce, reuse, recycle. Practice the 3 R's by minimizing waste. Carry a reusable water bottle, use cloth bags, and recycle whenever possible. Challenge yourself to reduce single-use plastics and find alternative solutions. Educate yourself. Stay informed about environmental issues by reading articles, watching documentaries, and following organizations dedicated to conservation. Knowledge empowers you to make informed decisions. Get involved, join local environmental groups, or participate in community cleanup events. Working with others can amplify your impact and create a sense of community around environmental stewardship. Advocate for change. Use your voice to raise awareness about environmental issues. You can write letters to local representatives, start petitions, or use social media to share information about sustainability. Practice sustainable living. Make conscious choices in your daily life, such as conserving energy, using public transportation, or opting for locally sourced food. Every small action contributes to a larger positive impact. Environmental awareness is crucial for ensuring a sustainable future for our planet. By taking action, you can help protect the Earth for generations to come. The key lesson: environmental awareness is essential for addressing the challenges our planet faces, and individuals can make a difference through conscious choices and collective action. Chapter 17: The Future of Humanity. Finally, let's explore the exciting and uncertain future of humanity. Imagine a world where technology continues to advance, societies evolve, and global challenges are addressed through innovation and collaboration. The future holds immense potential, but it also brings questions and responsibilities we must consider. As we look ahead, the rapid pace of technological advancement raises both excitement and concern. Picture a future where artificial intelligence plays a significant role in our lives. AI has the potential to revolutionize industries, from healthcare to transportation, but it also raises ethical questions about job displacement and privacy. Imagine robots performing surgeries or self-driving cars navigating city streets. While these advancements can improve efficiency and safety, it's essential to ensure that technology serves humanity rather than replaces it. Climate change is another critical issue that will shape the future. As global temperatures rise, countries must work together to find solutions. Imagine a world where renewable energy sources like solar and wind power dominate, reducing our reliance on fossil fuels. Sustainable practices could become the norm, leading to cleaner air, healthier ecosystems, and a more balanced relationship with nature. Education will play a vital role in preparing future generations for the challenges ahead. Picture classrooms that embrace creativity, critical thinking, and collaboration. As technology evolves, so must our approach to education. Students will need to develop skills that are adaptable and relevant in a rapidly changing world. Emphasizing STEM education, as well as social-emotional learning, will help students become well-rounded individuals equipped to navigate the complexities of the future. Global cooperation will also be essential in addressing issues like poverty, health crises, and conflicts. Imagine nations coming together to share resources and knowledge, working toward common goals. This spirit of collaboration can help us tackle global challenges more effectively. Initiatives like the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals aim to create a better world for all by 2030, addressing issues such as hunger, education, and gender equality. To prepare for the future and make a positive impact, consider these steps. Stay informed, follow news about emerging technologies and global challenges. Understanding trends will help you anticipate changes and adapt to new circumstances. Foster critical thinking, practice analyzing information and questioning assumptions. This skill will help you navigate a world filled with information and misinformation. Engage in community service, get involved in local initiatives that address social issues. Volunteering can deepen your understanding of the challenges people face and inspire you to contribute to positive change. Be open to learning. Embrace lifelong learning by seeking new experiences and knowledge. This mindset will prepare you for the unexpected twists and turns of the future. Advocate for change. Use your voice to address issues that matter to you. Whether it's environmental protection, social justice, or education reform, advocating for change can lead to meaningful progress. The future of humanity is filled with possibilities, but it requires collective effort, creativity, and adaptability. Together, we can shape a world that prioritizes innovation, sustainability, and equity. The key lesson: the future of humanity is shaped by our choices today, and by embracing innovation, collaboration, and education, we can create a better world for generations to come. Chapter 18: The Rise of Digital Culture. Step into the vibrant world of digital culture, where technology and creativity collide. As we entered the 21st century, the internet transformed from a tool for information sharing to a massive platform for culture, communication, and creativity. Imagine a space where anyone with a smartphone or a computer can share their thoughts, art, and music with the world. This chapter explores how digital culture has shaped our lives and the ways we connect with each other. The rise of social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter has altered how we interact. Picture yourself scrolling through your feed, seeing photos of friends, family, and influencers sharing their lives. This connectivity allows us to stay in touch with people across the globe instantly. However, it also raises questions about authenticity and the impact of online personas. Have you ever felt pressured to present a perfect image online? This feeling is common in the digital age, where everyone seems to curate their lives for an audience. One of the most exciting aspects of digital culture is the explosion of user-generated content. Platforms like YouTube, TikTok, and Twitch have given rise to a new generation of creators. Imagine a 12-year-old kid in their bedroom, posting a video of themselves doing a silly dance or teaching a complex math concept. These creators can gain massive followings, and in some cases even turn their passions into full-time careers. The internet has democratized fame and creativity, allowing anyone with talent and determination to find an audience. However, the digital world isn't all sunshine and rainbows. The advent of the internet has also led to challenges, such as cyberbullying and misinformation. Picture a young person reading hurtful comments on their social media posts or encountering false information that spreads rapidly online. It's essential to be aware of these issues and to foster a positive digital environment. To navigate the world of digital culture effectively, consider these strategies. Curate your feed. Be intentional about the content you consume on social media. Follow accounts that inspire you and promote positivity. Unfollow or mute accounts that make you feel bad about yourself. Engage positively when you post. Think about how your content might affect others. Share uplifting messages or support your friends with kind comments. Verify information. Before sharing news articles or social media posts, take a moment to check their credibility. Look for reputable sources to combat the spread of misinformation. Create and share. Consider starting your own project, whether it's a blog, YouTube channel, or podcast. Use your creativity to express yourself and connect with others. Digital culture is a powerful force that shapes our identities and influences society. By engaging thoughtfully, we can harness its potential for good. The key lesson: the rise of digital culture has transformed how we connect, communicate, and create, offering both opportunities and challenges as we navigate this new landscape. Chapter 19: The Impact of Climate Change. Now let's address one of the most pressing issues of our time: climate change. Picture a world where extreme weather events, rising sea levels, and changing ecosystems are becoming the new normal. This chapter focuses on the causes and effects of climate change, as well as what we can do to combat it. Climate change is primarily driven by human activities, particularly the burning of fossil fuels like coal, oil, and natural gas. Imagine factories releasing smoke into the air or cars emitting exhaust as they travel. These actions release greenhouse gases, such as carbon dioxide and methane, trapping heat in the atmosphere and causing global temperatures to rise. As a result, we are witnessing more frequent and severe weather events like hurricanes, droughts, and wildfires. One of the most alarming consequences of climate change is the melting of polar ice caps and glaciers. Picture polar bears struggling to find solid ice to hunt on, or coastal cities like Miami facing the threat of flooding. These changes have far-reaching effects on wildlife and ecosystems, disrupting food chains and habitats. However, it's not all doom and gloom. People around the world are coming together to tackle climate change through innovation and action. Imagine communities planting trees, adopting renewable energy sources, and advocating for policies that protect the environment. The rise of movements like Fridays for Future, led by young activists like Greta Thunberg, shows that the younger generation is passionate about fighting for a sustainable future. To contribute to the fight against climate change in your own life, consider these steps. Reduce your carbon footprint. Use public transportation, bike, or walk whenever possible. When you drive, consider carpooling to reduce emissions. Conserve energy. Turn off lights when you leave a room. Unplug devices when not in use, and consider using energy-efficient appliances. Support renewable energy. If possible, choose renewable energy sources for your home, or advocate for local policies that promote solar and wind energy. Educate others. Share what you learn about climate change with friends and family. Encourage discussions about sustainability and environmental protection. Get involved, join local environmental groups, or participate in community cleanup events. Working together can amplify your impact and create a sense of community around environmental stewardship. Climate change is a critical issue, But by taking action, we can work towards a healthier planet for future generations. The key lesson: climate change poses significant challenges to our planet, but collective action and innovation can lead to effective solutions and a more sustainable future. Chapter 20: The Quest for Equality. Now, let's explore the ongoing quest for equality, a fundamental aspect of human rights. Imagine a world where everyone is treated fairly and has equal access to opportunities, regardless of their background, gender, or race. This chapter delves into the struggles and triumphs in the fight for equality throughout history and today. The quest for equality has deep roots, with movements advocating for civil rights, gender equality, and social justice. Picture the bravery of individuals like Martin Luther King Jr., who led peaceful protests against racial segregation in the United States. His famous "I Have a Dream" speech continues to inspire generations, reminding us of the importance of justice and equality. Women have also played a crucial role in the fight for equality. The suffragette movement, which fought for women's right to vote, faced fierce opposition but ultimately led to significant changes in many countries. Imagine women marching in the streets, demanding their voices be heard. Today, the fight for gender equality continues, addressing issues like pay gaps and reproductive rights. LGBTQ rights have also gained momentum over the years. Picture a world where individuals can love whom they choose without fear of discrimination. Movements advocating for LGBTQ rights have made significant strides, but challenges remain. The fight for equality is ongoing, reminding us that everyone deserves respect and acceptance. To support the quest for equality in your own life, consider these actions. Educate yourself, learn about different cultures, histories, and social justice movements. Understanding others' experiences can foster empathy and awareness. Stand up against discrimination. Speak out against unfair treatment or bullying, whether it's in school or online. Use your voice to advocate for those who may not have one. Support inclusive policies. Advocate for policies that promote equality in your school and community. This could involve supporting clubs or initiatives that focus on diversity and inclusion. Participate in activism. Get involved in local organizations that promote social justice. Volunteer your time or participate in events that raise awareness about equality issues. Be an ally, support friends and peers who may face discrimination. Show understanding and stand alongside them in their struggles. The quest for equality is an essential part of creating a fair and just society. By taking action, we can help build a world where everyone is treated with dignity and respect. The key lesson: the quest for equality is an ongoing journey that requires action, understanding, and advocacy to ensure that everyone has the opportunity to thrive. Conclusion. As we reflect on the lessons from these chapters, it's clear that our world is filled with challenges, but also immense potential for positive change. We've explored the impact of technology, the urgency of climate action, and the quest for equality, all of which remind us that we have the power to make a difference. While the issues we face may seem daunting, there is hope in the actions we take today. Each of us has a role to play in shaping a brighter future, whether through small daily choices or by participating in larger movements for change. The future is not set in stone, it is a canvas that we can paint with our actions and ideas. Together, we can embrace the opportunities presented by technology, work toward environmental sustainability, and champion equality for all. By fostering a sense of community, empathy, and responsibility, we can create a world that is not only better for ourselves, but also for generations to come. So, as you navigate your journey, remember that every action counts. Whether it's planting a tree, standing up for a friend, or sharing your creativity with the world, you have the power to contribute to a positive change. The future is bright, and it begins with you. Thank you for completing another Brief Read video. Like and subscribe to see more our videos. If you have a particular that you would like to see, please share it in the comments section.